Now that we've discussed some of the main important points about setting up ALEKS, it's time to take a closer look at the software, at the website. This is a self-contained website where you're going to basically do all of your work for this course. And for me, the login page will be significantly different than it will be for you. You will not be able to see any of this information. This is all instructor dashboard information. Rather than that, what you will see is a student view. And I'm going to go ahead and open that up so that you have a better idea as to how that looks and how it feels. And I'll give you some pointers on how to get it set up so that you can maximize its use as you're studying in class and at home. So the first thing you'll see is an introductory slideshow. Go through this pretty quick. You don't really have to pay much attention to any of this. This information is just kind of giving you a tutorial as to what kind of tools are available. The next thing you'll do after you sign up, and when you first get into ALEKS, it'll ask you to start this tutorial. Go ahead and go through this. If you look at this, you have the menu bar up here. You can go back home. It's not going to let you access any information just yet until you take what's called the initial knowledge check. But before you go any further, I want you to click on Settings, and in Settings, I would like you to have your email forwarded, any ALEKS messages forwarded to your email address. That way, if I send you anything through ALEKS, it'll get sent to your email. That way you have a way of reading it. Now, when you send me messages through ALEKS, I can't reply directly in my email to them. I have to go into ALEKS and reply from there, or I will send you an email directly through ISU. Either way, it'll take me a little bit of time to get directly back to you, and then go ahead and click Save. That way we have a better idea as to what information will be sent to you in a timely manner. So that's basically all you need to do as far as settings are concerned. Go through this tutorial or skip it. I don't really care what you do as long as you know how to use the system. And skip that as well. Click Continue. Now the next thing that'll have you do is this initial knowledge check. Now this is the most important thing that you do in this class from day one. This is the absolute most important thing you do in this course. Take the initial knowledge check and take it seriously. This is essentially like a placement exam for the course, in that whatever information you previously knew, whatever math you previously have had experience with, do your best on this, and it will basically create a plan for you to study ALEKS or to study your math at your level. Okay, it's a very smart system in that way. Rather than having to go from the very beginning, doing math 15, 25, 108, 143, 144 from the very beginning, it'll take bits and pieces of each of those based on the answers you give in the initial knowledge check. So go ahead and start that. And then there's 30 questions. Go through the best you can, and if you don't know something, click I don't know. Okay? You will not have the option to skip the knowledge check. Okay? That will not be available to you. I'm going to go ahead and skip it here in a moment just to give you kind of an idea as to what the rest of the system looks like. But go ahead and simplify or work on each question very carefully. If you don't know it, just simply click I don't know. Give it the best you can. This typically takes students an hour to an hour and a half to go through the entire thing, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and skip it for now. And I'm going to say complete knowledge of prep for calculus since I'm the instructor, okay? And it basically says that I know everything, all right? Which is great. For you, it'll give you a progress bar. It'll tell you how many you've mastered and how many you have remaining. So for example, there's 35 topics in the real numbers. That's this bar right here. Let's suppose you only know 20 out of those. Then you have to finish up the other 15. That would be equivalent to what's taught in Math 15 and Math 25, as well as equations and inequalities for a large part. It's going to go through all this nonsense really quick. Yay, congratulations. But now it brings me to this new dashboard here. And you'll see all sorts of different things. The main things you need to worry about in this class are working in the learn mode, which can be accessed through this bar, or rather than saying review here, for you it'll say continue my path. Okay? So if you click on that, it'll bring you to a new topic and it'll say continue my path. Review and learn mode are very similar in that you can they have the similar features to them, and you can look at them in the very same way. So let me go through some examples of how to work with the system, and that'll get us started. So the first thing it brings up to me is trigonometry. Well, I don't want to do trigonometry. Rather than doing that, let's say I want to do earlier stuff. So I can click on this little bar here, and I could say, well, I don't want to do trig. I would rather do Math 25 or 15 module. Okay, so I'll click on that, and it'll bring me to topics in there that I have to learn. Okay, you could also click on filters and actually search for topics that I recommend that you study a little bit. So for example, if I see that you're having struggles with certain topics, I can go and say, hey, work on this with me, and then let's try to master that in class. That's one thing to remember. Other things are, you have a list of assignments, and this is where all of your exit exams will show up, your mastery exams. There's nothing right now that you have to worry about except for time goals. Anything else will show up as it needs to. Let's see, what else is there? The gradebook, don't pay attention to that. The last thing you need to pay attention to is reports on that bar, on the menu bar. And this will tell you how much time you've spent in ALEKS. This is what you want to pay attention to. You are required 10 hours per week of study in ALEKS. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You must complete 10 hours. My syllabus states that you must have 90% completion of your 10 hours, or something very similar to that. We'll go through that in class the day that we start. So you need to spend 10 hours a week. You're going to get 3 hours in regular class sessions Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. For those of you who have signed up for the lab on Thursday, you'll get an extra hour that day. You have to make up 6 more hours beyond that of your own time. Don't put it off until Sunday. That's silly, and that's not a good study strategy. Rather than do that, study an hour, 2 hours each day. That way you're staying on top of things and don't fall behind. Typically for a 3-credit course, you need to be spending 3 hours outside of class per every hour we meet in class. So that's a 9 to 12 hour study session outside of class. Okay, you could split that up through the week, but that's just kind of the main idea there. Now, if you're in learn mode and you have no idea how to do a certain topic, there's a little button icon that has an envelope, and I'll show you what I mean as soon as this loads. It's being very slow today. The little envelope is basically a message system, and in your message you could basically address the problem you're having. Click on that icon and it'll bring up a message, an automatic message system. And you can not only send the message to me, but you could also send the message to Amy as well, and basically give me a rundown of what the problem is. And you can also attach the page you're working on right here. If you don't want to attach it, simply click out of that. But the more information I have, the more information Amy has, the better we are able to help you solving the problems you have. Okay? Let's see here. Other than that, the only other thing you need to be aware of is the instructor resources, which are linked to certain topics throughout the course. The only other comment I want to make is that Amy Bull and I are in the process of developing video lectures for topics that we have seen students struggle with on a regular basis. We will upload those to Moodle. They will be available to Moodle, and they will be, the description of each of those video lectures will be exactly the same as the topic in question. So if you're struggling with something, a good thing for you to do is to have Moodle uploaded as well on the browser in another tab, so that you can cross-reference. Say you try a certain problem 3 or 4 times and you're not getting it. Well, you can cross-reference that with videos listed in Moodle that correspond to that lecture. We haven't done that for every single topic, but we are working on that. We're working on the ones that have given students the most struggle. And those are available to you. I believe that covers everything. If I've left anything out, Amy will be sure to remind me, and we will hopefully be able to get through this course in an efficient manner. This is not your typical course. It's very self-motivated. I'm not going to lecture in class unless I see everyone struggling with the exact same topic, and you all can't seem to get through it. But for the main part, it's self-learning. Come to class, get the help you need. Oh, one more thing. If you're working at home on the easier stuff and save the harder stuff for class time, that's the best strategy you can have, so that you can actually find someone else that knows how to do it, or work with me or Amy to figure out how to do it. And that's going to really help you out. And also get comfortable with answering other people's questions. The best way to learn, in my experience, is to be able to explain it to someone else. Anyways, I look forward to working with all of you. I will see you in class. Thanks.